I don't know how to start this.
Welcome to Vegan Hope. I'm gay.
No, you're not. You're big and sensitive to the queer folk.
Victor. You can be heterosexual and be gay, alright? You can be heterosexual and straight, or you can be heterosexual and gay. It's a mindset. It lives in your brain.
Like a gorilla mindset. Like an alpha mindset, but gay.
Yeah.
So I have a gay mindset, even though I'm straight.
Right. Like, you can be homosexual and gay, or you can be heterosexual and gay. It's all about your mentality.
That's true. We're evolving language. Getting right into the controversy.
English is continuously evolving.
Speaking of gay, we watched the new Adventure Time Distant Lands special on HBO Max.
Hey, episode 2, Obsidian.
I know we'll never grow old together, 'cause you'll never grow old to me. You're the pink in my cheeks, and I'm scared, 'cause it means I'm a little bit soft.
So we watched the new Adventure Time special on HBO Max.
We already said that, and then I rolled.
I'm getting you back on track.
Trailer.
I'm getting you back on track.
Yeah, so episode 1 of this we talked about in our HBO Max cartoon roundup. Go check that out.
Extravaganza.
Episode 1 was a side story about BMO fucking around in space, and it turned out to be a prequel to Adventure Time, basically, I guess.
Yes.
For some reason, I feel like I should be wearing a mask right now. I'm getting too used to fucking going outside with the mask on. It's fucking
not
weird.
a mask, it's a muzzle. They're
I'm like, people are looking
you.
at me. I need to be wearing my mask.
My wife is looking at me. I need to wear a mask.
Anywho, yeah, so the BMO special was fun and neat, you know? It was like, whatever, fun time.
Yeah.
Didn't have anything to do with anyone, but
Pretty fun, but overall, okay.
yeah, so I enjoyed this one a lot more, because it's about Princess Bubblegum and Marceline, and I love Princess Bubblegum and Marceline!
Yeah.
It's fucking sick! It was dope!
Yeah. The original pioneers of being gay on Cartoon Network.
Exactly. They are the gayest, and it's like, you know, after the finale, you're just like, I want to see Bubblegum and Marceline hanging out. Like, they're awesome. They're finally together or whatever. I want to see more of that. This is great. And then they did it. I'm like, yes, this is everything I wanted out of an Adventure Time expansion OVA. You
get
know?
to learn more about their past, how their relationship has evolved and changed over time, and how they got to be where they are today.
It's interesting because we watched this and I was like, that was great. I loved it. You know, it felt like an episode of Adventure Time, and it was cool, and it was dope. And then today, because we watched this like 2 days ago.
Right.
And, you know, I haven't heard anyone talk about this.
I haven't heard anyone say
none of the
peep
people
about this.
Like, we don't follow anyone who talks about cartoons, really.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what the opinion is, and I would just assume that everyone loves it because it's
I would
it's
assume
good.
everybody loves it because it's gay, which is like a default for making people love your stuff.
I saw the perfect resource for getting an opinion on this, which was Facebook.
Oh, wow.
Because I saw a Cartoon Network ad,
pushing queer gender.
like, the trailer, and it's showing like a before and after of Bubblegum and Marceline, and they're being all gay and happy, and it's like, yeah, Bubblegum and Marceline, and then the comments, of course, the first comment is like, this cartoon should be rated R on HBO because it's you know, it's gay, therefore it should be rated R. I'm like, whoa, so, right out the gate!
This special should be rated the same as an episode of Game of Thrones where you see a flaccid dick.
Yes.
It's just as
because
obscene.
It has girls kissing, it should be rated R, basically. And they were like, this is not a children's cartoon anymore. This is a cartoon for adults. This should be rated R.
Right.
And then I was like,
and then
slow clap.
Then you remember there's people who are still scared of the gays.
Yeah, which is like, I guess it is still important to have this episode of a cartoon and show gay relationships on TV because people are psychopaths. People are, you exist in your bubble on Twitter and Tumblr and whatnot, and everything's gay, and then you go out into Facebook and you're like, no! I mean, of course, it's like some crazy Indian guy name, and like... But then
racist, but
I continue through the comments like, oh god, here we go. And I start to see like, I guess people really thought the animation was shit in this, which I don't understand.
Okay.
Like, I feel like it's people's memories of what like the finale of Adventure Time was like, and they just like project onto it like it has to look fucking mind-blowing, and it's like it just looks like an episode of Adventure Time. What more do you want?
There's certainly episodes of Adventure Time that have like really stellar animation. Like the James Baxter episodes are obviously extremely smooth and fluid, and like, but that's the whole meme, is that James Baxter animated those sequences. He's known for these very fluid animations. Otherwise, the show is pretty standard across the board. Like it's good animation, but it's never like absolutely dreadful, and it's not usually like, oh my god, Sakuga.
I'm not coming to Adventure Time for Sakuga. Like, I don't. Why are these the comments? Why are people so disappointed in the fucking animation of Adventure Time OVA?
Dollars to donuts. These are the same people that'll turn around and say Castlevania's beautiful.
Yes. So, exactly. So, never mind.
Whatever.
But, so I found it pretty hilarious that there were these negative comments on Facebook, and then people being like, talking about the finale of Adventure Time set the bar so high, and I'm like, what? This isn't the finale of Adventure Time. It's just some side story. Like,
bro,
you could slot this in somewhere, you know? Well, this one is actually a sequel, because, but like, which is dope.
Things you learn later in
but anyways, just wanted to address something hilarious, because at first I was thinking like, oh, everyone's gonna agree with us and they love it, and then I'm like, oh wait, I guess this is gonna be divisive. I don't know.
And I mean, it's even. Yeah, you get stuck in your Twitter circle where everyone, you know, loves and supports the gays, and of course you look at media and it's like there is more lesbian representation in media, but this isn't even touching like male homosexual relationships. We still haven't normalized those very well in any kind of media. Like I think it's more palatable for it to be the lesbians. Not that I love this. Maybe. This is great. Yeah. This is fantastic. But I feel like lesbians are a lot more palatable than male homosexual relationships.
And you have to remember that
so we still have a lot of work to do.
Like, anytime the cartoons do this shit, the blowback is ridiculous from, like, these psychopaths on the internet, you know?
Yeah, and God forbid you have any sort of sexuality in the relationship. Then, oh, well, fucking clutch your crosses, my friends, because here we go.
Yeah, yeah. So it's very odd. Very odd.
Despite the progress that we perceive, and there are a lot of people who are, of course, supportive, there's still a lot of progress to be made. But that's another topic for another day.
Yeah. Anywho, so, let's get into it. What was this about?
Well, as you described, it is the setup is there is a big like almost like he looked like a fire salamander dragon kind of guy who many years ago fucked up this like glass kingdom.
Yes, the glass kingdom.
And the deal is Marceline is the hero who came and sang a song and locked the dragon away, and every year the town has this little ceremony where they sing the song to keep the dragon locked away. And everyone's starting to be like, I don't know, it's pretty whatever. It's become a distant memory, and people are like, they don't really believe in it so much. But there's like one dude, like Glass Boy, he really believes in it. And he has this crack that's extremely visible, and everyone judges him for it. They all shit on him. They're like, yeah, you broken ass turd.
They're so fucking ruthless.
They're so mean to him. Like, Jesus. But he's friends with See-Through Princess, who is the princess of Glass Kingdom, and she's like, no, I like your crack, I think it's dope, but everyone else is a huge fucking asshole. So he decides to sneak into the lair of the fire salamander guy in order to fix his crack, because there's a volcano in there where it's been told that you can fix any imperfections if you go into this volcano. And in doing so, of course, he lets the dragon out, and they're like, oh fuck, here we go, we gotta go get Marceline so she can lock the dragon away again. And so it leads to a trek of Marceline and Bubblegum traveling across the kingdom, coming back to this town, and trying to figure out how to lock the dragon away once and for all, while reliving some past trauma and working through some shit.
Because it turns out that, we knew from the show that Marceline and Bubblegum had been together in the past, and something led to them breaking up, and we were never given that story of what happened. So this special is telling the story of what happened between them and why they broke up, and it all ties into this Glass Kingdom plot. So, like, they're going back to the Glass Kingdom and kind of reliving what happened and dealing with the emotions and the trauma of it. It's sort of, like, coming at it now with an adult perspective in terms of, like, they love each other now, they understand themselves and their relationship, and before they were, like, petty kids.
Yeah.
And so they come into it with this new vitality, and it was cool, and it was dope. I loved it.
It's a very relatable story.
I was gonna say,
Especially, I think
as
for
two
a lot
people
of people
who,
who grew up with Adventure Time and are
yeah.
now adults, and they're able to watch this and it'll be something a lot of people empathize with. But
And as
especially
two people
me.
who briefly dated and it didn't work out, and then we got back together much later, I think it's kind of relatable
pretty funny.
as we became much better people, you know. But that's a kind of a great testament to the way the relationship is, where it's like they were good together, they loved each other, they're like meant to be together, but they weren't mature yet at that time.
It just wasn't the right time, yeah.
And so by the end of the show, they've had this big gap, and then now they are mature enough to be together, and sort of like the strengths of their relationship can shine because they aren't bogged down by like the childish bullshit they were going through.
Right.
Which
the
is,
pettiness and the selfishness.
Exactly. Very relatable. For me, especially. I used to be a fucking depressed, selfish prick. Oh my god.
Yeah, it is. It is really funny, especially. I wouldn't say that I one for one identify with Bubblegum, but there is a lot of aspects of her personality that I'm like, yeah. Especially when I was younger, I was like, yeah.
I probably relate more to Marceline.
The wanting to be the most. She says she needs to be the most competent person in the room, and I'm like, yeah, understandable.
And I have to be the edgiest person in the room. But there's also some cool stuff going into Marceline's backstory where she's confronting her trauma over her mom, quote unquote, who raised
person
her.
Who raised her, yeah.
Yeah, and like when she ended up dying and left Marceline behind, and Marceline never knew why. She thought she was just abandoned. Because
as they discussed, like her mom was super sick, but she never brought it up to her because they never discussed like painful or negative things. They always diverted it, like they kept it away and didn't discuss it.
Yeah.
So she learned to suppress all of that.
Exactly, because her mom just lied to her through all this stuff. You know, she didn't want her to know the harsh reality of the world they were living in, so she was just like candy coated everything. And didn't even admit to her when she died, even though there was a message that she had left for her that Marceline never found until now in the present time. So there's a lot going on there. Yeah. But it was cool. It's like they cover a lot of ground in 45 minutes, and it's like stuff that just like it closed the book on these characters. It answered the final questions that were left of like what happened to them before, what's the rest of their backstory together, and it's just like there it is, and now you know that they're gonna fucking live happily ever after as like a stable couple, you know? It's pretty great.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
You had the stuff with the Glass Kingdom where at the end the see-through princess breaks and she has a giant crack. And then it turns out literally everyone in the Glass Kingdom has a crack, and because so they were shitting on
glass.
They were shitting on Glass Boy because he had the only crack that he couldn't hide, or he didn't have the thought to hide it. He had a very visible crack. Yeah. And it's just that, you know, everyone who's fucking bullying and pushing down on someone, it's like they're just projecting themselves.
Because they have the insecurity of they themselves knowing they're cracked.
And it was
because
like
he would try to hide it. He had the mask that he was wearing initially, and then he stopped wearing it.
Yeah, and everyone shat on it. It was like, oh, it's because everyone's cracked.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, obvious.
It is
like,
obvious,
it's on the nose, but
it's a very obvious metaphor.
But the thing with Adventure Time is that it's like, it's an obvious metaphor, and they treat it like, lol.
Yeah, like, no shit.
They're not being pretentious about it in any way. It's just like, lol, everyone's cracked. What a bunch of assholes.
Look at these fucking tools.
And like, you could guess, because they're all like wrapped up and stuff, that they're all
covered in bows and shit, and so you're like, oh yeah, I get it.
Everyone's hiding something. You gotta be more honest with yourself. And that's how they end up defeating the dragon in the end, is with honesty.
It's the honest feelings. It wasn't ever the song itself. It was the honesty in the song.
Yeah, 'cause she had stopped the dragon before with a song, and then the whole time they're thinking like, your song isn't angsty enough, because Marceline's like, I was so angry and angsty before, and now I'm just like a mature adult, and I don't really have those feelings anymore.
Now I'm just stable and happy.
Yeah. I understand that so much when it comes to art, where it's like, you feel like as an artist, you know, such great art comes out of negative emotions, and it's so hard to figure out how to make it out of positive emotions. And you see this in a lot of artists as they go through their career, where it starts off with like, you know, something like Red Hot Chili Peppers, where it's like, throughout the 90s, they were fucked up and doing drugs, and like they had all this trauma, and then their fucking guitarist died of a heroin overdose. Like they had so much to sing about, so much to write about, because everything was emotional and fucked and just like falling apart, and then it's like you get into the modern era. Same thing with like Green Day or any of these guys,
Yeah.
where it's like they had something to sing about when they were young, and now they're just like they're millionaires. What is it? The fuck do they have to sing about? It's all positive shit, you know. It's all they're writing songs about having a daughter and stuff. It's like it's not the same, but it's being able to like. I would even say something like Red Hot Chili Peppers is like they can make a song about his daughter getting married, and it's like he found a way to like channel that versus like Green Day, which is just singing the same, like trying to tap back into your melodramatic youth as much as possible, and it just feels fake and phony because there's no emotion there anymore. Yeah. But it's like this is Marceline, like she's trying to create these. She's trying to play the song that she used to play, but it's not honest anymore. She goes back to the place
where she felt that trauma. Yeah. And she like it's not there anymore, obviously.
Exactly. But it's just like, why would I sing about this? And so eventually they're emotionally honest with each other, and she sings an emotionally honest song, and the dragon's like, oh shit, and then he like blooms into this hilarious butterfly.
He's like a cat butterfly.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah! It's pretty awesome.
Yes, and all those little minions also become little like cat butterflies.
Yeah.
It's pretty great.
But it's like...
Because he was like a little sea creature who had been attacked and became so fearful and scared of everything that he hid in a volcano, and that morphed him into the fire salamander guy.
Yeah. It's great. It's a great story about maturing and emotional honesty, which is the key to a healthy relationship. It's just emotional honesty. A relationship with literally anyone, by the way. Try it out. Just be fucking honest with people. I know it's difficult. Like, it's kind of easier for, like, me and you as a couple. You know, I can be emotionally honest with you all day. With anyone else, it gets difficult because weird, you don't have that, like, layer of... You don't have established intimacy, you know? So it's just like, I don't know.
It gets tricky, yeah.
But it's like, yeah. Very cool, very mature relationship plot. Much enjoy.
Yeah. But it's still nice to see that even when they're more mature, like they still kind of have that struggle. Like Bubblegum, especially when she hears that they need to go back to this kingdom and recapture the monster, she gets kind of excited because she feels like she failed the first time, and she wants so badly to be competent and for people to love her and to respect her. And sometimes she does it in an authoritarian way, where it's like, you're not going to make people love you by being so forceful. But she wants so badly to be competent, so she goes back and she kind of almost expects Marceline to fail, and so she's a little bit excited when she gets the chance to step in when Marceline's song doesn't work, and she gets to like put up this barrier and start getting to work on like figuring out how she's gonna control the dragon. And even when Marceline like goes off to try and figure out how to solve the problem on her own, and you can tell Bubblegum is like thinking like, well, yeah, it's fucked up that I kind of wanted her to fail, and she can see that like part of that part of her personality from the past where she wants so badly to be accepted by these people and for them to look up to her and think she's so smart and she's such a genius. And she still kind of wants that, but she's struggling with it. And she's like,
we are just like these characters. The more I think about it, we are just like these characters.
It's the most I've ever identified with being gay.
I'm like, this is so something you would do.
To be like, I mean, I'm sure Victor can do it, but if he fucks up,
yeah, like if we were making a cosplay or something, and like I were trying to sew on my own, you would be like, he can't do it, and then you'd be like, let me step in, And I'd be like, I just wanted to try to do it. It's like great. I said. But then there's also, you see, even from the beginning, there's like a seed of doubt sown. Because it starts with Marceline and she's practicing her new song. And she's like, oh, I'm stuck. I don't know how to do it. Because, by the end we learn what her song was, but she wasn't ready to share it. And she tries to sit down with Bubblegum and play the song. She's like way too embarrassed. And then it puts this seed for Bubblegum where you see, because she like teases her about it later while they're on the bike of like, oh, you have all these secrets like the song and whatever, because she's so like secretive. She doesn't know how to feel in terms of, why can't you play this song for you? Oh, we share everything. Why can't you share this with me? And it's like, oh, well, the reason was because it was so emotionally honest in a way that she's not used to singing about. Even though for Bubblegum, it's like, oh, well, we have this secret song that you won't share with me, and then you're triumphantly singing our breakup song. Yeah. Like, what the fuck's going on? But it all comes around.
But it does all come
It all
around.
comes around. It's big feels, warm heart, happy times.
They sing a song and everyone is happy, and at the end you get a special guest appearance by Finn.
Yes.
He shows up.
It's
He's in a
hilarious.
camper.
Fucked up dad bod. I'm hoping the next special is going to be about him now that they've teased, adult Finn. Because
Yeah.
you see that it's teased that Jake is dead because he has a tattoo of Jake like in clouds, I think, on his chest. Flowers. It's like that is a memorial to Jake on his chest.
Yeah.
And then it seems like one of Jake's daughters or granddaughters or whatever the fuck she is there.
Yeah.
It could be a granddaughter
Could
at this
be.
point.
Yeah, we don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't remember enough about that to say for sure.
And I'm like, I'm not sure if we'll get a story about them or if we'll get like just a random Finn and Jake story somewhere because they're hopping around timeline.
I mean, we could get
but, like,
anything. Who knows?
Yeah. Be cool to get some adult Finn, see what he's up to.
Yeah.
Probably fucking around doing nothing.
I'm really curious about who gave Finn the tattoo.
Yeah, true. I don't know.
Who did that? Where'd that come from?
It was great. It captured the Adventure Time magic for me.
Very good.
If you didn't like it,
Pretty solid.
I don't know what's wrong with you. Stop being so fucking pedantic, I guess.
Yeah,
But,
I don't know. I
yeah.
don't know why you wouldn't enjoy something like this unless
Just
you
remove
hate the gays.
the stick from your ass for a little bit and remember you're watching a fucking cartoon. I don't know. But, good times.
It's Adventure Time.
Yeah, go check it out. Bye.
Do recommend.